The new channel. See the new. The new channel. See the new. The views, opinions, and insights expressed in the following show are those of the hosts, producers, guests, and viewers. They do not necessarily reflect the position of the channel. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to the new channel, your daily source of live stream inspiration. My name is Carmine Ortega, and this is UTurn. Good Monday morning, U-turners. Kamusta kayo? Today is Monday. Coding ako. So I'll just be staying home today. Actually, ang balita ko, ang pagkakaalam ko, no, even if you're coded, dito sa Metro Manila yan applicable, no? As long as dalawa kayo sa kotse, okay lang. Ayan. So I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys had a great weekend. I did too. Busy, pero busy is good and I was productive. So I hope you guys are in good spirits today and are looking forward to the coming week. So ngayon, I just would like to greet somebody. Well, actually a couple, no? These people are very close to me. My cousin and his wife, Dodgy and Joy Ortega. Happy anniversary to you. I love you. They're all the way in Davao City. So, kamusta rin sa mga taga Davao City? Ayan. Okay, for any one of you who want to, if you want me to give you a shout out, tama ba yun? Tama ba yung term na yun? Just leave a comment and say hello. Ayan, Cholita Esplana, suki namin yan, is watching from Tarlac. Hello, kamusta? Mga Esplana yan. Suki namin yan dito. Hello sa mga taga Tarlac. Okay. Ayan. Our hashtag, by the way, is what you can see on screen, UTurn on TNC. So whenever you want to leave a comment, please use that, UTurn on TNC. We also encourage you to like our page, Facebook page. It's TNC Now. So that's the network page, the new channel. Okay, TNC Now. And then, of course, we also have UTurn on TNC. Yan ang aming Facebook page. Okay, so I encourage everyone to share our live stream because we are giving away a gift. Okay, of course, kaya nga giveaway, kasi gift siya, no? We're giving away something, especially if you share the live stream and interpret this quote. It will be shown on screen right now. Ayan. You can't cross a sea by merely staring into the water. Ulit. You can't cross a sea by merely staring into the water. It's by Rabindranath Tagore. It's a mouthful, no? He's from the Indian subcontinent. He was a poet, a writer, an artist, very talented, and he won a Nobel Prize for Literature, okay? So if you leave your interpretation for this quote, can't cross a sea by merely staring into the water, and share our live stream on your wall, you could be the recipient of this very nice, smart-looking kitchen item, okay? So they go together. Ayan. Magkapatong silang ganyan. It's actually a drain. It's copper-colored, no? It's a drain for, especially when you deep fry stuff. So that's what it's good for. It's a copper tray. Yan. Crispy basket. So pwede yan pag meron kang deep fried chicken, syempre, lumpia. What else? Tempura, Nax, social, tempura. Ayan, deep fried stuff. Okay, ngayon, we have a winner from last week. Do we have that na? Not yet. Okay, later we will announce the winner of the recipient of last week's gift. Okay, so we'll do that in a little bit. Okay. Ayun. Okay, here we have it. So the recipient of last week's gift is Christian Medina Sales from Taguig. We are gifting you with a portable blender. Congratulations. Ayan. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so to the rest of you, remember that. Share our live stream and leave your take on our comment for today, and you could receive that crispy basket, copper basket. All right. Yay! Okay, so speaking of prito, speaking of pagkain, our guest for today has something to do with food, a lot to do with food and food preparation. And I think you will enjoy this episode because he's a very fun person, and you will see how fun he is in this video that we will show. After we show the video, we will let him in so you can see him and meet him. All right, Direk, let's introduce our guest through.
Recipe request. Today I'll teach you how to make my Bicol Express lumpia. Red onions, bay leaf, and star anise. Then you go ginger and garlic in saute. Packing in some ground pork. Oh yeah. Paminta. There you go. Patis. You make it halo halo. Add beef stock and lemongrass. Chili. Add kata. Let this cook until there's no liquid left. Now it's time to strain the pork. Let that oil drip. So much mantika, pare. Tablespoon of ground meat. Egg wash. Make it pahid-pahid. Roll it up tight. Flame on! Oh yeah. And now is the time to deep fry, baby. Ladies and gents, come on.
Ayan, nakakatuwa, di ba? So, our guest is no less than chef and TikToker, Joseph Viel.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Hello. Good
Ang
morning.
ganda nung front act natin, yung TikTok videos mo.
Okay. I didn't expect my TikTok vids to go viral in a manner of speaking, if you want to call it that.
Yeah. Well, I think you have good content, plus you have that entertainer persona rin. I think a part of you is actually pang showbiz.
On showbiz. Well, personally, I just like to try to make cooking fun, especially for the younger generations. So yeah, I just try, and luckily, some people actually enjoy it.
Okay. All right. So, say hello to your viewers and your followers for now.
Yes, of course. Hello, viewers, random followers. I have
Yeah.
some friends watching as well. Hello to them, JC Vivat, Keith Caleon, and everyone else there who are watching, family and friends. Thank you for tuning in.
Right. And I'd like to thank you for joining us today because, well, we know you have a story to share with us and we'll get to that shortly. And our show
Hmm.
is really all about that. It's inspiring people through stories of people who have turned their lives around for the better. And you're one of those people. All right,
Thank you.
to
Yeah.
give our audience, our viewers a little bit of background about you, can you tell us about your childhood, your beginnings?
Yeah. So, well, I don't know how far I should start, but I was born and raised in the Philippines. My parents, my father was Italian, my mom Filipina. So I grew up in a very mixed culture. I mean, syempre in the Philippines, you have the Filipino culture, but at home, there's also the home culture, as some would call it, and it was very Italian. So
Ah.
yeah, so at a young age, I was already exposed to Italian cuisine and cooking and everything like that.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I think that's what kind of kicked off my culinary career. At a young age, it was
Right,
already being presented
right.
to me na hey, this could be something you could do for years to come.
Mhm.
And yeah,
Mhm. So you're Filipino Italian. You were born here and you were raised here.
yes, proud Pinoy or
Okay.
proud Hafi.
What do you call
Yeah,
it? Proud
sorry, proud
half
Hafi, like half.
happy.
Yeah, half.
Happy. I see. Tisoy
Yeah.
talaga, not tisoy, but you speak
Mm.
Filipino very well because you spoke the language at home. Do you speak
Yeah,
Italian?
I do, but not as I'd say my Tagalog is much better than my Italian. I mean, for
Mhm.
obvious reasons. I grew up here,
Mhm.
and my
Mhm.
father also said, "You know what? You're in the Philippines. You best focus your studies on learning Tagalog over Italian." So I would
Mhm.
say my Italian is conversational, or
Okay.
just enough to not get lost if I were in Italy. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
How did your mom and dad communicate?
Primarily in English, because when my father first came here, obviously Italian lang yung ano niya. He spoke nothing but
Mhm.
Italian. So he had to teach himself the English language by literally a dictionary and a book.
Mhm.
Uh, and my mom, coming from the north, she was exposed to the American soldiers back in the post World War II. So I
Mhm.
think that's why my Lola raised my mom to speak English very well.
I
So
see.
that's how they
Okay.
communicated.
Okay. Are you the eldest in the family?
No, no, I'm the youngest. I'm the youngest. I have two older sisters and one kuya. Then comes me. So
I
pang-apat ako.
see. I see.
Yeah.
Okay. You're the youngest. Ang
Yeah.
cute. Oo, nakita nga namin yung baby photos mo doon sa huling video, no?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Right. Okay. So
Mm.
were any of your parents into, the culinary arts or how you said your household was very Italian and that influenced you getting into what you do now.
Yes,
But
yes.
were they, formally trained? Were they cooks or chefs?
Mm-mm. No, my father, he just kind of brought the recipes from Italy back to the Philippines
Mhm.
because he grew up he was a country boy. I mean,
Mhm.
maybe a little ano lang, some info. He was
Sure.
born in 1928. So at the
Mhm.
time, it was just, I think, if I'm not mistaken, World War One just kind of finished.
Mhm.
So very simple in lifestyle nila, very and he took the recipes from the provincial Italy, took it here to the Philippines, passed it on to my mom, and then my mom, being the home cook that she is, she began experimenting a bit here and there. And there were also various Italians who came with my father to the Philippines, and then they too would start saying, you add like this to make it taste more like that, and add like that. So it's just one big pool of opinions as to how to make this dish and as how to make that dish.
Mhm.
And then
Mhm.
eventually we just kind of stuck to what flavors we enjoyed or what flavors we thought would really
Right.
sell well with the local market. With the local.
Mhm. Yeah. So, syempre, no, the very limited thinking is when you say Italian cuisine, that's
Mm-mm.
pizza and pasta. Is that is that
Yes,
even
yes.
accurate? Can you say something? Did you grow up eating only those.
Yeah, yeah, funny because when I was a kid, I would hear that all the time. They'd ask me, "Di ka ba nagsasawa sa spaghetti at sa pizza? Di ka ba kumakain ng adobo?" And I said, "Look, Italian cuisine isn't all about carbohydrates. It actually has proteins as well." And like
Mhm,
the famous dishes like the ossobuco or galina alla parmigiana or chicken parmigiana, as some would be more familiar with.
mhm,
Italian cuisine has so many has is so much more than just pizza and pasta. And that's when before I had this restaurant called Cucina Rusticana, which
mhm,
translates to rustic kitchen.
mhm.
When I opened that restaurant, my goal was to kind of expose the rustic cuisine of Italy. And that's when my customers would be surprised and they'd be like, "Wow, you have various fish dishes pala, various beef, chicken, pork, even veal, etc., etc."
Mhm,
So I
mhm.
was trying to break that
The
typical
stereotype,
notion. Yes, yes.
right?
No, it's not just that.
So that's what you specialize on. Pero how did you become formally trained? How did you even get to that decision that this is what you want to
Mm.
do?
So when I was in fourth year high school, naabot ko pa yung panahon na wala pang K-12. Eh. When I was in fourth year high school, I was finally, my parents sat me down and said, "Oh, so you're going off to college now. What do you want to do with your life? What do you want to?" Ano?" And at that time, I was torn between choosing music and culinary arts. Because my simple logic was, if I'm going to be doing something for the rest of my life, it better be something I actually enjoy, right? I mean,
Right.
yeah. So when I studied it, I said, okay, music is great and all, but I felt like cooking would be it's something that you can turn into a business. It's something that can be more, with all due respect to musicians, it's something more sustainable in my opinion. In my opinion.
Mhm. In your case, under your circumstances
Yes,
also.
yes, precisely, precisely. So I decided to pursue culinary arts, and I went to De La Salle College of Saint Benilde.
Mhm.
I took the HRIM course, and I chose to major in culinary arts in particular. And then after that, under the Italian government, I was granted an opportunity to study in ISCAM. That is an acronym for International School for Culinary Arts and Hospitality Management.
Mhm.
It's
Okay.
located in Katipunan. Yeah, Katipunan. And
Right.
that's where I got to study even. Um, they offered a course like in-depth Italian cuisine. So, yeah.
Right. And was it, well, you chose between music and culinary arts now. Pero was
Mhm.
there during your childhood, were you cooking more or helping out in the kitchen more, or were you also singing and dancing? May showbiz talaga eh, no?
Trophies. When I was a kid, yeah, I would definitely help out. Amongst the other siblings, they didn't seem to show much interest in the kitchen. They'd rather be
Mhm.
in their rooms reading a book or playing video games. While I, on the other hand, I'd be in the kitchen. I'd be pestering my mother. I'd be like, "Ma, ano yan, ano yan? What's this? Ano tong green sauce na to? Ah, pesto sauce. So, what's this you're doing here?" Ganun. And
Right.
I think that's where it started. My interest for cooking.
Mhm.
I'd spend most of my time in the kitchen, or at least by the time when they thought I would be mature enough. So to put a number on that, it was somewhere between 8 or 9 years old. Because when I was younger, they were afraid na mapapasok ka lang, you might just burn your finger or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they said, okay, let's make a deal. When you get older and when you show na you're more responsible, then we'll let you work in the kitchen. And that's where it started.
Ang cute naman, 6-year-old
Mm.
gustong trabaho sa kusina. So when you
Yeah.
were a little more, you have mastered your finer skills, no, finer motor skills at age 9 or 10. That was when they
Mm.
allowed you to help in the kitchen.
Yes, yes.
Nice. I can relate with that. Okay. All right. Sandali,
Yeah.
merong mga fans ka dito bumabate. Oh, let's say hello to them.
Oh,
From Donald Rebostilla, he's
oh,
saying
hello.
hello.
Hello, hello.
Uh, Eileen Domingo is saying, "You will never know
Eileen
until you
Domingo.
try." She's giving her interpretation.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
Blessed Monday to my daughter Apple Esplana and my son-in-law Erwin Manansala. Ayan.
So nice.
Some people are saying hi specifically to you. Kiz Lucido, hi chef.
Oh, hello, Chef.
Marisa Viel, your sister, I
Oh,
think.
my sister. My sister. Hello, Marisa. Pogi ni Chef.
Pogi ni chef. Love your own, syempre.
Oh, yeah.
Right? January's friends with your
Oh,
sister. Right?
attorney Share. Hello, attorney Share. Thank you for
Ayan,
tuning
hello,
in.
chef. Melody Bautista.
Oh, auntie,
J
my auntie. Yes.
JJ namin yan. Favorite favorite ka siguro nung bata ka, no?
I'd like to
Shout
think so.
out.
Shout out.
Shara.
Hello, attorney Share.
What is she
Chef,
saying?
shout out, chef. See, chef,
Ayo,
she's
shout
there. She's a
out,
good
shout
chef.
out. Handsome
Yeah.
chef. Okay. All right. So you went through school taking up culinary arts, and then
Mm-mm.
what was your first job? What did you do immediately after getting out
After,
of school? Yeah.
yeah. I first applied as a chef in this small restaurant called Harry's Bar.
Mhm.
It was located in Venice Piazza in Taguig area, if I'm not mistaken. And that was technically my first job, my first go at it talaga, as in trying to work as a professional chef.
Mhm. Mhm.
And but I've also had experience in hotels and in various caterings. I think the only sector of the F&B I did not enter was the cruise line. That's the only thing.
Cruise line. I
I,
see.
I personally didn't really fancy the cruise line thing. I wanted to keep my feet on the land, so but
Okay.
that's just
Okay.
me. That's just me. Yeah, yeah.
I see. Did you also learn to mix drinks? Ganyan.
There was a time, yes, there was a time wherein I wasn't working as a chef anymore, and I was
Mhm.
working with a dining staff
Right.
uh, because I just wanted to experience it because I felt like it wouldn't be complete. Like working in the F&B industry wouldn't be complete unless I tried working in the other aspect of it, which was the dining. So
Mhm.
between serving tables and between working behind the bar, it was really ano rin eh, it's a different experience. It's hard to explain in words. But back when I was a cook, or back when I was behind the stove cooking,
Right.
you see, there's always this argument between servers and cooks. I'm sure the others who out there would know what I'm talking about.
Talaga
there's
ba?
always yeah, there's always this love-hate relationship going between servers and cooks because either the server will blame the cook and say you're not moving fast enough, or the cook will say, "Well, it's not my fault. The food went cold. You weren't serving the customers on time," and things like that. And I only understood the point of view of the dining staff until I was actually there. And I said to
Mm.
myself, "Wow, hindi lang pala biro yung ano, the work of a dining staff is no joke at all. It's physically daunting. You have to deal with various customers. By
Mhm.
that I mean, of course, there can be some customers who can really test your patience.
Right. Right.
but but behind it all, you need to smile and grin and be like, "Yes, ma'am, happy to serve. Here we are." You know. And
A
then
different
after
skill
that,
altogether. A lot of managing expectations and
oh yes, yes,
building a relationship even within that 1 hour that they're in the restaurant.
tama,
It's good you
tama.
have it's good you have that insight. You understand the other side of the restaurant business.
Yes,
Okay, so
yes.
I understand you went into the restaurant business, right?
Mm-mm.
When we get back from break, you'll tell us a little bit more about that.
Oh,
Okay.
sure, sure. All right.
All right. We'll be back after this break.
Okay.
Hi, we're back. This is UTurn on the new channel. You just saw ads for our most recent shows here on the new channel. So, abangan niyo po yan, no? In addition to the big picture with Lloyd Luna and, of course, UTurn with yours truly, we also have HR Hotline with Jessie Rebustillo, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 12 noon. And then we also have the Home Buyer with Dante Salamat, Mondays and Saturdays at 4 p.m. all the way from the US, no, from Texas and Tennessee. I Business with Dr. Mike and Bert, and then the Puppet Stories with Juan Lu, Tuesdays and Fridays at 5 p.m. And this is going to premiere very soon. So, ayan na. Tomorrow, June 30th at 5 p.m. Wanlu Lunaria. Hello, Wanlu. Sabi ko sa'yo, batiin kita. So, ayan, binabati kita. Pinromote pa natin ang show mo. Thank you, Direk. Okay, so let us say hello to more people. Ayan. Handsome chef. Mas pogi daw yung kuya ng chef. JC but don't forget, brother. Ayan. Welcome back, Joseph.
Hello,
How are you?
hello.
Nag-enjoy ka ba? I hope you're enjoying yourself.
Yes, I'm having a good time. Thank you. Thank you for
Oo.
having me.
Sure. O ngayon, you will have a little more fun because we're gonna play a game.
Oh, wow. Okay, let's
All
do
right.
it. Tara.
The game is called Quick Turn, Direct Pasok.
Okay.
Meron ba, Direct? Ayan. Thank you. So the game is
Turn.
called Quick Turn. Okay. What's it gonna be? So we just want to know you a little more. So I will mention random things, maybe names of places, activities,
Ah.
ganyan. And we want to know whether you like them, don't like
Mm.
them, or love them. Okay. So if you like them, say right turn. If you
Right
like,
turn.
if
Mm-hmm.
you don't like, you say left turn. But if
Left
you
turn.
love, say U-turn.
U-turn. Okay. Right is
Yes.
like, left is dislike, and U-turn is love. All right,
Yes.
let's do this.
Isaw.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Museums.
Right.
Chinese food.
U-turn.
Okay. Ako rin.
Yeah.
iPhone.
iPhone. Ah, right.
Quiapo.
Quiapo left.
Okay. Doesn't like
Yeah.
Quiapo. Rap.
Yeah. It's
Rap
good.
music.
Rap music. Sorry, guys, left. I'm more of a
Okay
metal
lang yun.
fan and rock. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay lang yun. May balance, di ba? Kesa naman lahat
Yeah.
like.
Mm.
Kinilaw. Kinilaw.
uh, that's, I'll go for right. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Snorkeling.
Right.
Pinterest.
Pinterest. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And food processor.
Oh, U-turn.
Napaka-random, ano? Food
that
processor.
is like
Alright.
that is a chef's best friend, I swear.
Mm-mm. Especially, no, in modern times, no, dati naman, nung bata tayo, well, lalo na ako,
Yeah,
iba pa
yeah.
yung, oo.
Mm.
Okay, so thank you for playing. We now know you a little bit better.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. All right, so going back to our discussion, you eventually went into the restaurant business, and
Mhm.
and how was that? How was the experience? Any learnings from that experience?
A lot. So just a quick recap. Back in 2011, I put up a restaurant called Cucina Rusticana. Sadly, it's closed now. It closed as of 2013. Now, to answer the question, it taught me a lot. I swear. Like at that time, I was 25, and I guess you could say a tad bit idealistic. The saying when you're young and how do you say, young and stupid or young and idealistic? I guess I was
Mhm.
back then, and I'd like to approach things with a can-do mentality, with a kaya yan, which is all in good, right?
Mhm.
But it's one thing to study things on a it's one thing to look at it on paper, and it's another thing to look at it when you're actually executing it day in and day out. No, and I honestly thought at that time I've garnered sufficient experience to run a restaurant, and that's when I realized, oh my goodness, it's so difficult. Like, it's one thing to be a chef, right? Meaning you're
Mhm.
managing the kitchen, you're controlling food costs, you're making sure quality and production is on time and is spot on. But then there's the other aspect, which is the business side, and that just totally blew me away. And sa lagay na to,
Mhm.
I already had the assistance of my sister, who was
Mhm.
managing mostly the administrative work of the restaurant,
Right.
and it was just so difficult because. Uh, Parang literally wala kang buhay. All you're gonna do is literally when you wake up in the morning, you're thinking of the restaurant. When you go to bed, you're still thinking of the restaurant. When you're dreaming at night, you're still probably thinking of the restaurant. You're thinking of ways how to further improve it, how to improve your sales, how to capture your market, and all that stuff
Right.
like that. It's
Okay.
um, it's a bit of an oversimplification, but take my word for it when I say na the restaurant business is far from easy. A lot of people who don't work in the industry, they compare the restaurant with like home cooking or something like that. In their head, they're like, if
Oh,
I can cook for a family of six, how hard is it to cook for a restaurant? And then
right.
you actually lace up your boots and you step in the kitchen, and then you're like, oh my goodness, it is no joke. It's really
Mhm,
difficult.
mhm. There are too many
And
moving parts, no, in the
yeah,
restaurant business, and then you have to deal with, like you said, the business aspect of it. And
yes.
ako mismo, I tried it, ano, a small one, pero I always had to deal with food spoilage, and I hated that.
Yes, the food spoilage. My goodness, that's basically
Kasi lost
money
yun agad
down the
eh.
drain. Yeah, yeah. You
Mhm.
won't be, you won't be seeing a lot of that money anymore. So, so, and of course, prior
Right.
to that, you always want to try to be innovative. You want to adapt. You want to impress your customers, and it's all easier said than done. Basically, to
Mhm.
simplify it, yeah,
Okay.
it's it's
All
it's
right.
a it's an industry that is more often than not, in my opinion, um, taken for well, not taken for granted, but I guess a lot of people tend to bite off more than they can chew, and they
Right.
won't realize that until they're already in the deep end, and they're
Mhm.
like, wala na, I have to make this work, otherwise sayang lahat ng pinag-invest ko at lahat ng pinaghirapan ko.
Right, right. And it
Yeah.
was during this time, and correct me if I'm wrong, no?
Mhm.
And you had your own health issues. You were battling your own health issues. Was it during the when the restaurant was around, or was
Mhm.
it a result of it?
Yeah. Yeah. When the restaurant began going into full swing, that's when I began letting go of myself. Because I would literally work easily 12, 14, 16 hours every day.
Mm-hmm.
And I would be stress eating. The funny thing with chefs is that although we spend the whole day making gourmet foods for everyone, we don't
Mm-hmm.
really get to eat that said gourmet food. The
Right.
diet of a cook, and I'm sure other chefs out there back me up when I say this, they tend to eat pardon the word, garbage food. And by that I mean instant meals or instant pancit canton. Basically things that anyone by now should know is not healthy because
Okay.
it's quick, because it's instant, because it's something very easy to cook in like less than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And for a cook,
And you need it because you're so busy. You need it. You
yeah,
need to eat. I mean.
parang you're hungry, but you need something quick to just fill your tummy and then get back to work. So my diet back then was composed of any processed food you can think of, anything that came in a can or pre-packaged for your convenience. That's what I was eating,
Mhm.
and obviously the calories in those things, no, it's massive. It's incredible. And I
Mhm.
began putting on the weight to the point that even after the restaurant closed, um, I would still eat unhealthily because by that point I was just really. I don't want to use the word depressed. I don't feel like that's the right word to use. Let's just use the word sad. I was really sad with the closure of the restaurant. I was really sad that I couldn't make it work anymore. And I found my solace and comfort in eating foods that weren't healthy for me. Therefore, long story short, the next thing I know, I was 330 pounds at the age of 27.
330, right? And I think we have photos to show of that. With your permission, ito,
Of course.
Joseph, ha?
Please,
We'll show
go ahead.
your
Sure, sure.
330-pound
Show that.
photo.
Show the sexy body.
Ayan. Wala pang shirt,
Yeah.
no?
All
Topless.
right. That's my
Okay.
friend. For those wondering, that hand is my friend. My friend teasing me at the time. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that was me at 330 pounds. I was just a mess in every aspect,
Mhm,
mentally,
mhm.
emotionally, physically. If you want to even include spiritually, include it then. So
Okay. And then
yeah,
we also have another one. But then you had a turn around, 'di ba?
yes,
Here
yes.
you got smaller again. You trimmed
Hmm.
down. Obviously, you're using weights to as part of your exercise regimen.
Yes.
Um, and then I'd like to ask, what was the trigger? What what got you started to taking care of yourself? Mind,
Myself.
body, spirit, like you said.
Yes. It was when I woke up one night and my entire left arm was completely numb. And I remember sitting at the edge of my bed for like, I'm estimating 15 minutes or 20 minutes, and I'm just like trying to revive it or bring back some sensation to it, no?
Mm-hmm.
And then prior to that, the weeks that followed after that, just walking up my staircase at home would already cause me to breathe heavily. I
Mm-hmm.
found myself becoming so lethargic. I found myself becoming so unbelievably lazy. Because as you know, in the kitchen, the job of a chef is not just mentally but physically as well. So I also began realizing back then I could cook, say 10 dishes easily. Now I'm cooking three, and I'm already like, ayoko na, pagod na ako.
Wow.
So yeah, my body was affecting the quality of my work. It was
Right.
affecting the nature of my
And
work.
the quality of your life
Yeah,
also.
yeah, yeah, and also the quality of my life. So, 'di ba parang I'm well at the time, I still am. My mind frame is I'm young and I want to
Mm,
achieve so much in this life. If you're only
mm,
going to live one life after all, why not live it achieving what you set out to? You know. Uh, so prior to that, also, I should mention my father, because when he was still alive, he was one of the most disciplined people I know. I
mm,
mean, I guess being raised in war-torn Italy, he was and serving in the battlefield back then.
mhm,
Parang he had the mentality of a soldier, and taking care of his body was one of the top priorities talaga.
mhm.
And I remember back then when I'd put on so much as a little weight, I would hear a lot of, I get a lot of heat from my father. He'd be like, "Look at you, you're gaining weight. You need to mind what you eat, blah, 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 blah." He's like, "How can you do the simple tasks if your body's already failing you?" And
Mm.
although it may be hurtful, on the other side of it, you have to admit that he wasn't wrong.
It
He was
makes
right.
sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. So at this point, also, remembering the words of my father, I just said to myself, I'm sure he wouldn't be proud of what I've done to myself, of how I have permitted myself to become this big. Because
Mm,
no matter what they say, in the end, it's really, you need to be accountable for your actions. No matter
right.
what life, diba? No matter what life throws at you, you need to be accountable for the decisions you make and the ramifications that come after that.
Mhm,
So, in this case, in regards to the weight gain, that's when I said to myself, okay, I want to open a restaurant again one day. I want to make my name in the food and beverage industry. And prior to that, to say the least, I want to provide for my family as well. Diba? But how
right.
can I do that with a body that is literally failing me?
Mhm,
And at the age of 27, diba?
mm,
I've heard news of people dying at 30, 31 of heart attacks, cardiac arrest, and which leads me to that also. My doctor also warned me. He said, look, if you continue going down this road, you're bound to become diabetic anytime soon.
right. Right.
So yeah, of course, with all due respect to those with that ailment, long story short was you need to turn your life around. You need to make changes ASAP. Otherwise, wala. Panindigan mo
Oh,
yung, panindigan mo yung mga choices mo when you were
at the
younger.
Ayan ang transformation ni
Yeah, there's
Joseph.
one.
So, you went all the way up to 330 and then you went back down. How much weight did you lose, when you were
Um, yeah,
satisfied?
yeah. The lowest weight I've went to was 230 to be exact.
Okay.
Then as I was going down, as of recent, as of like a few months ago, I decided to try experimenting with other forms of weightlifting. So I tried doing a little powerlifting over here, and that would mean sometimes eating more calories, but the nature
Mm,
of your exercise is different.
mm.
Right now, I'm a little more bulkier as per the recent photo there, which is like
Uh-huh.
257, I think. Yeah, it's a
Mm.
little bulkier because I switched up my program, and
I see.
admittedly, I'm kind of experimenting right now, trying to see like how does it feel to be this heavy, but it's not just pure fat; it's a mixture of muscle and then
Right. And
yeah,
muscle is heavier than fat,
then
diba?
fat.
So
Yes, yes, yeah.
how tall are you, JJ? I mean Joseph. How tall are
Uh,
you?
yeah, I'd like to think I'm 6 foot, 6 feet, sorry.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I think to be precise, I think I'm 5'11". But it depends. Some say I'm 5'11", some say I'm 6. So let's just say it somewhere
Mhm.
between those
So
two.
you're pretty tall kaya and then I guess you're medium or large framed and that's why you're
Yeah.
always above that 200. But so
Mhm.
despite the slight weight gain at this time, you
Mhm.
are in control. Tama ba?
Yes, yes. I'm. Although I won't lie, recently with the quarantine that just happened, uh, it hit me a bit, and I might have exceeded my calories a bit here and there. But of course, bottom line is now it's like, okay, let's get serious again, back to more mindful eating. Because
Right.
I make it a point to exercise, but
Mm-mm.
all that exercise is useless if you won't back it up with the healthier options or the healthy foods that you should be consuming.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good. So, sige. Now we'll talk about what you've been busy with these days. Okay.
Hmm.
After we get back from break.
All right. All right. Sounds good.
We're back on UTurn on the new channel. Ayan. Especially yung ngiti ko kasi naaaliw ako doon sa ad ni Juan Lu. That's a new show that's up and coming. In fact, tomorrow it will be premiering June 30th at 5 p.m. Juan Lu, the puppet stories with Juan Lu. Si Juan Lu sikat siya na entertainer. I mean, I'm sure he will tell you his story, pero all I can say right now is marami siyang kwento, very entertaining ang kanyang mga kwento. So yan, puppet stories. He's the Philippine ambassador to puppetry. O, di ba? Kasama natin yan sa the new channel. Okay. Mag-guest pa siya mamaya with Lloyd Luna. So the big picture with Lloyd Luna. Juan Lu will be there, so we can start getting to know him dun pa lang. No? Ayan. We also want to thank our TNC heroes, the new channel heroes. The photos that you see on screen are a summary of those who have been guests in the big picture with Lloyd Luna. In fact, may 3 seasons na si Lloyd Luna, no, ng the big picture. Congratulations! Ibang level ka talaga, ibang klase ka. And then we also have photos of guests we've had here on UTurn. So UTurn is the second show that we've started to air here so the new channel. And thank you, Lloyd and Apple, for the trust, for the faith, and for believing in the project. We really want to inspire people, especially at this time, with stories of hope and turnaround for the better. So thank you. Ayan. Okay, so let us call back our fun TikToker guest. Hindi talaga ako maka-get over dun sa pagka-TikToker. Siguro mas bata pa ako and at teenager ako ngayon itong panahon na to. Siguro TikToker din ako tsaka nagsasayaw ako dun sa
True.
Okay, so I like what you said earlier about being responsible for your actions, and you can't blame people for your situation kasi it was you who ate extra, diba? It was you who didn't exercise, it was you who, and I'm not saying you personally, no, whatever people's situations are, tayo ang may dahilan kung bakit tayo nandito ngayon. It's because of actions, decisions we made yesterday, in the past. That's why we're here today, and whatever decisions we make now will affect tomorrow and the future.
Yes.
So
I wholeheartedly agree.
taking accountability is really important, very important. So congratulations on your health turnaround.
Thank you.
Feeling great, no?
Thank
Ayan,
you.
we have some photos. I snuck around you and grabbed some photos.
Yeah,
Please tell us a little bit about this. Are you a cat person?
Yes. Well, I guess I'm a dog and cat person, but yeah, that is my cat Machiavelli when I first got him about a year ago. I think that photo's about 1 year old now. Yeah.
Oh.
Mm.
Machiavelli, Italian talaga, no?
Yeah. And this is a photo of my sister and her husband. This was taken at the reception after her wedding.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And that is the photo of my mom and dad back when they were still mag-boyfriend girlfriend. Nung nagliligawan pa. Yeah.
Saan yan? Merong puno ng saging sa background, oh.
Yeah, my mom kasi is from Sablan, Benguet. So she's up in the north. Yeah. And my father back then, he used to be based in Tarlac kasi. And he loved the beaches and he loved the mountains. So he would always frequent La Union, then from La Union up to Baguio, or the area, at least the mountainous areas of Baguio. No? And it was while he was in Sablan when he met my mother. And my mother at the time was working for her auntie, my lola, her auntie, because she was one of the parang girls or the sales ladies selling mga wooden artifacts, mga wood carvings that are so known in the area. Yeah.
Oh.
And that's where my mom met my dad, and my dad loved all the wood carvings he would send to Italy.
Talaga.
Yeah.
What's this photo?
Oh, that's a photo of one of my favorite teachers from, her name is Teacher Marge Javier. She was, she's the reason why I love math. Because personally, me and math, it's just a horrible combination. But thanks to her, she made me appreciate it. For me, she's like a second mom to me, the teacher Marge.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Hello,
nice.
teacher Marge. Yeah.
Teacher, thank you. All
Yeah.
right. What is this spread?
Yes, this was taken back when I was making when I was trying to produce some photo collaterals for the business, and
Mhm.
the photographer and my parang marketer suggested to me, said, try to put in one table all your best sellers, from main entrees to appetizers to pasta to desserts, and parang there's a little bit of each and every item there.
Right.
Yeah.
So, how long did it take you to prepare all of that? Yung ganun karaming
All the
items.
dishes. Yeah. Well, at the time, I still had a handful of staff. So,
Okay.
in like less than an hour or so, okay na siya. This
Okay.
was, this was
Nice.
obviously before
Nakakagutom.
COVID.
Sakto magla-lunch na, no? Italian cuisine kaya ang ulam namin.
Yeah.
Okay. This is one of your favorite photos and you're gesturing like that. Can you tell us about
Yeah.
that?
Okay. So you see this hand gesture here. This is a classic Italian hand gesture.
Mhm.
Uh, there is no direct translation as to what this means. It's just something that they do when they're getting exasperated or when they're annoyed or something like that. Uh, Now it's become a bit of a joke online on the internet. It's become a bit of a meme. And
Mhm.
now sometimes when you look at how Italians react to things, or how Italians eat, or how Italians do anything for that matter, parating may ganyan parate. They always has to be a hand gesture. So in this photo, it's a bit of a joke. Like, I'm acknowledging it, and here I
Uh-huh.
am holding a pie. And although it doesn't make any sense to do it, I'm gonna do it anyway, just for laughs.
I see.
Yeah,
I think it's like a gesture for emphasis, 'di ba? Whether you're annoyed,
yeah,
you're really annoyed. Kung
yeah,
masarap,
parang ganon.
masarap talaga. I'm
Yeah,
recommending it.
yeah. Now, there is something my father taught me when I asked him what this meant. And
Okay.
full disclaimer, depending on the Italian that you speak to, you might get different answers. But this
Okay.
is what I'm aware of. And my
Okay.
father once said, "You see, they go like this. They go like that. No, that's normally how they do it." Or they go. Now,
I'm trying it also.
this hand gesture is like it's like you're reaching for your heart and you're putting it out there. So sometimes that's why it's
Mm.
an act of exasperation. Sometimes, like, let's say somebody doesn't understand what you're trying to say to them, so
Uh-huh.
it's like they're saying, "Oh, for the love of God, please come on, bear with me." So that's kind of how the how the hand gesture came about, and that's why it's shaped like this. As you can see,
Mhm.
it's like you're pulling your heart and you're asking them, "Come on, man, I'm putting my heart out here already. Come on." Yeah,
Oh,
parang ganon, parang
okay.
ganon. Yeah,
That's something to think about. Thank you
yeah,
for
yeah.
this quick lesson on Italian
Hand
culture.
gestures.
Kahit tiny
Yeah,
tiny bit of Italian culture. I'm having
mm,
fun. Sana mas mahaba
thank
pa yung
you.
oras. Teach us more. Ngayon, okay. So tell us. Speaking of that, speaking of the food and Italian, what
Mm.
are you busy with lately? What do you have now?
Yes. So ever since the restaurant closed, I've switched my business model to party trays, and I'm doing it all at the comfort of my own. Sorry, at the comfort of my own home. So I do various party trays, be it from small or medium, and then I have it sent through Lalamove or Happy Move or any courier service that can handle it. Uh,
Right. And it's
yeah.
called what do you
It's
call your
called
business?
Yeah, the name of the business is Comisario by Chef Joseph Viel.
Okay.
So, yeah, Comisario.
Commissar.
Comisario in Italian translates to commissary.
Right.
And for those who may not be familiar, in the industry, there's a thing called the commissary kitchen. So, the commissary kitchen is like the mother kitchen that makes all the dishes. And then it sends out all the other dishes to maybe some smaller satellite branches. So, I said to myself, well, that sounds like a nice name. And then I remember asking for my dad when he was still alive. I said, Papi, how do you translate commissary in Italian? And he looks
Mhm.
at me and he's like, commissario. Then he just goes back to whatever he was doing. So I was like, okay, enough said. Commissario it is. And then
Right.
we
Commissario.
decided, yeah, yeah. So there you
Mhm.
go. There you go.
How did you
Yeah.
come up with the idea of party trays? And from my understanding, you didn't really call it party trays
Yeah,
before,
yeah,
but you
yeah.
adopted the term. party trays. How did
Mm-mm.
you come with that idea?
Back then, I just used to call it takeout foil trays or something like that. And the idea popped in my head when, the the timeline is it was 2013. The restaurant just closed, and a lot of my customers were in shock. You know, because back then
Mm-hmm.
it was although Facebook was already active, it was very difficult. I guess a lot of people weren't really on Facebook yet, in comparison to now. In
Right.
comparison. So when
Mm-hmm.
I made the announcement that hey, Cucina Rusticana is closing, this will be our final week of operations, blah 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 blah. Not everyone got the memo. So I
Mm-hmm.
had a lot of customers who would just suddenly show up there a month later or 2 months later, and it'd be like, "Oh, sarado na yung restaurant. Ano nangyari? I don't even know." You know. So
Mm-hmm.
some would text me or give me a call and be like, "Chef, what happened to your restaurant? Blah 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 blah." And then that's when one of them said, "Well, chef, I'm sorry that your restaurant closed, but would it be possible for you to maybe cook the dishes for me and then send it, or I'll pick it up, or or
Right.
whatever?" And that's where the idea started. And I said,
Mm-mm.
"This looks like a very interesting business model." No, I mean,
Mm.
you know the saying, when God closes a door, He opens a window. So I kind of felt like this might be
Mhm.
it. Kasi shortly after
Right.
the restaurant closed, again, I was going through this really sad days in my life, and I was praying hard. I was asking, what am I supposed to do now? A chef without a restaurant is like a pilot without an airplane, or a captain without a ship, diba? So
Right. Right.
it's like, so shortly after that, again, customers began suggesting the same thing over and over and over again. They're
So
like, "Chef,
the demand stayed. The restaurant was gone, but the demand for your food
yes, it remained."
still
So that's when
there.
I said, yeah, yeah. Tama.
What were they requesting for? What was the dish that they always wanted to get from you in order palagi?
In order. Definitely the photo a while ago that you saw. Most of the dishes
Mhm.
there. So just to name a few,
Just
my
name
ossobuco,
them para magutom lalo
para magutom.
yung viewers natin.
Yeah.
With
So
the
definitely,
Italian accent sana.
with that, sige, I'll try. So one was the Galina alla Parmigiana, or in English, chicken parmesan or chicken parmigiana. There was that. Then there was the ossobuco, which is 3 hours beef shanks that have been braised for 3 hours in a pomodoro sauce. And
Wow.
then there was also my pork scallopine. It's basically pork tenderloins that's been chopped and then simmered in marsala wine. And then, of course, my desserts, my mango cream pie, which became very popular. And to this day, it's what's keeping me really busy in the kitchen.
Mhm.
Mm,
Nice.
yeah.
Very nice. Okay. By the way, you talked about how Italian cuisine is not just pizza and pasta, but do you sell pizza and pasta?
For the meantime, I had to scrap my pizza options
Okay.
because of ever since COVID came in, I had to downsize my menu. And
Okay.
because for the meantime, I'm literally working alone in the
For
kitchen.
efficiency, you did this for efficiency
Yes, for
in
efficiency.
operations. Okay.
Yeah, so I had to adapt a bit, and I always like to listen to my customers. And right
Mhm.
now, because of what's happening, what seems to be making waves are frozen products, frozen items. So
So
they'd ask
perfect yung
me,
komisaryo, 'di ba? That's what
yes,
a
yes,
commissary does eh.
yes, yes. Every time something comes, we try to adapt. So now we're doing mostly, well, the dishes that are ideal for freezing would be mga braised items or stewed items. So pizza for me is not one of, I mean, there are frozen pizzas, yes, but based on the recipe that I make and the nature of my pizza, I tried freezing it. I tried defrosting it afterwards. The quality does not taste the same.
Uh-uh.
And
Uh,
unless I can mimic the same quality as I used to back then, the last
mm.
thing I want to hear is, chef, ba't ganyan? Lasang ganito? Ba't ganyan? Lasang ganyan? So I'm like, you know what? No, no, I will not put pizza in the menu, at least
Okay.
until, for the time being, at least. Yeah, for the time being.
And how about pasta? Tell us about pasta. You make your own pasta. Is that a common
Ah,
fare? Do you
yes,
sell
yes. Yeah,
pasta
yeah.
that you make?
I used to sell sun-dried pasta. But again, because of what had happened, the COVID thing and everything like that, I had to downsize the menu. But I still take pride that my lasagna, the lasagna I make, everything is from scratch, even the pasta. I do not buy store bought pastas. And I think that's the one key ingredient that makes it so different from the others. Because technically, a lasagna is like, layers and layers of various ingredients from your pasta sheet to your bechamel to your choice of sauce and whatever other toppings you can think of. So it's quite basic in some manner of speaking, but I I feel like the reason why my lasagna is different is because of that. I make the effort to make the lasagna from scratch with a recipe that was handed down from my lola to my father to me. Um,
Wow.
and yeah, I think that's what
Have to try
makes it different. Yeah, yeah. It's also one of my best sellers, my lasagna. It's sad, yeah, because sadly
that.
nowadays, the lasagna, it's rarely being ordered, and I think it's because it's become popular na here in the Philippines, di ba? And I guess sometimes when people see the item, ay, lasagna, it's just probably, another run-of-the-mill item that I can buy from anyone else, So I'd always encourage
Oh,
them, here, please, have a taste muna.
try it.
Yeah, try
Oo.
it. There's
No,
no
baka
other
naman
way.
they're really adventurous and they want to try the rabbit, 'di ba? May gano'n
Yeah,
ka pa, may
the
rabbit.
rabbit. Yeah, there was a time I tried
Soup,
killing rabbit.
soup. Ganyan. Naku, nakakagutom. Sabi nga nung comment dito, nakakagutom, chef. The best ang lasagna mo, chef. From
Thank you.
Erwin
Thank you.
Manansala. Ayan,
Very Mansala.
magkasunod
Thank
na,
you.
mag-asawa yan. His lasagna is the best tasting I've tasted so far. Gutom na ako. Ayan. We need
Thank you.
Italian food for lunch right now. Joseph, before we wrap up the show, I'd like to ask you for tips that you want to give our viewers, especially when taking charge of your life, including your health, your career, your future. What tips can you share?
In regards to health, definitely, you need to take accountability for everything that you do. You need to educate yourself. Excuse me, I'm sorry. You need to understand what foods fuels your body the best and couple it with regular exercise. I feel like the
Mhm.
mistake of many people out there is they think, as long as I exercise 5, 6, 7 days a week, okay na ako. Actually, no. The nutrition trumps exercise. You need to first educate yourself on proper nutrition, and exercise is just a second tier, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Um, uh, and the other aspect naman, in regards to, let's say, trying to turn your life around, always assess muna where you are, understand um, how your situation is, and always seek help from those who can help you. I'd encourage that you surround yourself with people who are, how do you say, let's just use the word positive for the lack of better words. You surround yourself with people who can actually help you get out of a rut in the event that you feel like you're lost, in the event that you feel like you don't know what to do with your life. Because
Mhm.
uh, from in my opinion, understanding is half the battle. When you understand where you are, and only then can you start making, or only then can you start writing down the necessary steps. Na, okay, this is where I am. These are my problems. How do I think of solutions? So understand first your situation, then strive to figure out solutions. It's
Mhm.
never there's never one key recipe or layout for everyone. You need to figure that out on yourself. But it starts off by, of course, surrounding yourself with people who can actually help you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you. I like what you said about taking stock of your situation, of what you
Right.
have, and I think it's also given that you need to know where you want to go, right? Para alam
Right.
mo yung point A mo, tsaka point B mo, and then like you said, it's the people, positive people, supportive people, I suppose, who
Mm-hmm.
can help you get out of a rut. In fact, I like that term that you used, rut. I also use that term, especially
Yeah.
when describing this show, because
Mhm.
this show is about inspiring others, even if your situation is not like Joseph's situation. You
Mhm.
can learn from Joseph's advice on that, how he turned his life around. Let's say you're suffering from depression or some other situation, you can also adopt the
Yeah.
same tips, the same good practices. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for for sharing those pieces of advice.
You're very
Now,
welcome.
Joseph, I'm sure by now, gutom na yung mga viewers. Gusto nila ng Italian cuisine, rustic Italian
Classic
cuisine.
Italian cuisine. Yes.
How can they, you know, where can they find your menu? You know, what you offer, how much they are, good for how many, where do they need to go?
Yes. I'd highly encourage you guys to check out my Facebook page. It's called. You can go on Facebook and literally search for the words "Comisario" by Chef Joseph Viel, or you can just go to the link facebook.com/comisarioph. Then for those who might be interested, I'm also on TikTok. I upload various content, be it be it cooking recipes or advice or anything related to the food and beverage industry. Just type in at Chef Joseph Field. And same with my
Ayun.
Instagram account. If you want to follow my Instagram, I try to mimic what I post on TikTok on my Instagram as well.
Ayan.
Yep.
Facebook, Comisario PH. Okay.
Yes,
And
Commissary
then
Field
there's Chef Joseph Viel on TikTok and
on
also
TikTok,
on Instagram.
Instagram.
Ayun.
Yes, yes.
Thank you so much. It was a fun, actually more than 1 hour na. No? Sorry na,
Oh
Direk,
yeah,
and sa aming producer. Time flies when you're having fun.
I agree. I agree. I agree. Thank you so much. Also, it was a pleasure to do this.
Yes, and more power to you and your business and to
Thank
your
you.
life ahead.
Likewise. Likewise with you guys. All right.
Last episode, may fist bump kami. Ngayon,
At may fist bump.
ganun din.
Or pwedeng ganito rin. Oh.
Kaya, may natutunan talaga ako. All right. So, once again, ladies and gentlemen, Joseph Viel, please follow him on Facebook, on TikTok, and Instagram. The contacts will be in the comment section. Okay. Thank you very much for that very fun interview. Thank you for your time, Joseph. Ayan. Ayun, naka-paste na ngayon sa ating comment section yung contacts and your details. Okay, so gutom na ba kayo? Siguro oo, no? Kasi lalo na nagtagal kami. I hope you enjoyed today's show and hope you found inspiration from Joseph's story, how he turned his health and his life around, and also an introduction to a little bit of rustic Italian cuisine and some culture stuff. Okay, so we'll be back once again. UTurn will be back on Thursday for another inspiring episode. Thursday, by the way, we will be on 30 minutes earlier on Thursday, okay? So magbabago po ang schedule namin. Please take note. UTurn on the new channel will be on at 10:30 a.m. on Thursday and onwards. That's Mondays and Thursdays, 10:30 a.m. So baybayan niyo po kami, balik po kayo sa aming channel, and we hope to inspire you even more. Thank you so much. Thank you, Direk. Thank you to our guests. Thank you to our producers. This is Carmine, and I'll see you again. Happy lunch.